Ah, there it is. What is the truest definition of frustration? Alright, that intro gives away a lot, but let's reset here. And well, let's start this off by questioning what exactly is Sonic Spinball. Well, to begin with the story, the evil Dr. Robotnik is up to his nefarious deeds once again, this time setting up shop within Mount Mobius. And within this mountain, which I also want to say is a dormant volcano, he has created the Vego Fortress, which is his pinball defense system that's going to finally put an end to Sonic once and for all. So now it is up to Sonic to go through the various layers of this fortress and destroy it and put a stop to Robotnik once again, as well as the usual stuff of saving captive animals and collecting the Chaos Emeralds. But anyway, essentially what this game is a pinball game, but you actually play as the ball, which I mean is perfect for Sonic. I mean, ever since like the first game, the idea of him being a pinball always has been there. And I mean, this game works on this idea alone, with you not only being able to fling Sonic around, but also like move him or have like little platforming sections, as well as trying to find all the hidden like switches in order to progress through the level. So yeah, in concept alone, this is a great game in the making. But in execution, on the other hand, well, it's, in all honesty, just pure annoyance. Having Sonic fling around all over the place and having, like, no control with him at all. Because although you can control him while he's in the air, it's just that you have so little of it that it doesn't even make much of a difference most of the time. And then there's just instances where you just can't do anything and just lose a life. And then all this just makes me feel like I'm playing regular pinball. Which, I mean, I like pinball, it's just that I always hated the fact that there are just points in time where you can't do anything, you just have to lose your ball. So when this game says you're playing as the ball, so something like that shouldn't happen, and it still does, you could see why I kinda get legitimately mad at it. And that's not even getting into like the little platformy sections where you need to make very tightrope, I guess you can call them, jumps in order to move on with the stage. Like, I really hate the part in level 2 where you're trying to get into the cone where you're like pushing Sonic up with the steam, but the only way to do it is by hitting a cluck on top, and then you have to hit it at like the right height, but then there's like so many of them you just keep getting pushed down, or you hit one and just don't make it. And the best part is, if you actually make it to the top, you have to move like within a split second of getting up there, and you have to move correctly so you don't like bounce off the roof, because if you do this or just simply don't move, you're all the way back down to square one. Or in level 3 when you need to fling yourself up one of those narrow corridors. And this one was especially worse for me since for the longest time I didn't realize that this flipper could actually move up. So I was just continuously flinging Sonic all the way up without really knowing what to do. But anyway, I believe that covers all the major stuff I wanted to go over. Now to wrap up what's left. Starting off here with the music, and well, the stereotype of Sonic games always having great music is no exception here, and I honestly feel the music this time around is like bouncy and playful, which is perfectly fitting for a pinball-esque game. Although thinking about it more, there is actually one notable exception in this game for music, that being the infamous music that plays on the options menu, with it being so loud and obnoxious that I'm pretty sure it's removed from every re-release of this game, which in all honesty is a pretty impressive feat. I also like the little mini games after each level, with you needing to break out Robotnik's teeth or free other animals. And I gotta say, it's really neat to see some Sad AM characters make an appearance here. Although them being here always made me wonder if this like was officially connected to it, like in the same vein as Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. Well, that combined with the fact that for whatever reason the art direction in this game seems to be more in line with that show, with everything seeming more detailed than usual, and this game having a weirdly dark tone to it, especially when it comes to the bosses, and the last thing of Sonic's appearance during the bonus stages, where it honestly just looks like they redrew that version of him from the show. But really, at the end of the day, that's nothing more than just a theory. Anyway, now I'm just gonna go ahead and wrap this review up with the two last things I'm gonna mention here. Is that first, I feel kind of obligated to say that I did not beat this game. I mean, I made it to the last level, but I did not beat it. And even as I'm saying this, I'm debating whether or not I'm gonna actually beat it for the video. And I'm really only bringing this up because I dislike this game so much that if I were to beat it, I'm not gonna do it legitimately. I'm gonna use cheat codes to gain access to a stage select, assuming there is one, and when actually playing, I'm gonna use save states up the ass. Because if I'm going in, I want to go in all the way and just get it over with, as quickly and painless as possible. Hi, this is me after beating that final level. And guess what? It's easily the worst part of the game, with you needing to make so many precision shots that it's just so frustrating. So you could weaken barriers down so you can move on. Barriers that end up resetting if you lose a life. Isn't that nice? But the worst part is easily the freaking boss. Not only getting to him since he's all the way at the top of the level, but just trying to defeat him. There's this thing in the middle you can never hit, and then if you go up the wrong way, you get like pushed out or flung out or whatever. And if you're not lucky, you'll fall all the way back down to the ground and need to go all the way back up. And it's just, this entire level took like an hour to beat alone, and that's with the ability to save whenever I wanted to. And it's just like, how the hell did Sega expect people to beat this level in the original version of the game? You know, the one where if you lose all your balls, it's just game over, which is very easy to do on this level. Or again, just the simple fact that you keep getting pushed out of the boss arena, needing to go all the way back up. But anyway, that concludes my rant on this awful final level. And with that covered, now for the second thing, which is this game could really benefit from a remake or like a sequel. Because like I said at the beginning, there really is a great concept for a game here, and Sega really shouldn't have shied away from it. Because if you remake this game or make another one of it where you just work out the kinks, mainly the controls, you really have some good stuff here. But in the end, it's ultimately unknown if something like that would ever happen, and instead we're just left with this really squandered idea. But anyway, that's all I had to say about this game. So yeah, this is a game I really do want to like, but I just can't. So there's like an obscure Sonic audio CD called Sonic the Hedgehog Boom, and I don't know the exact details about it, like why it exists or who worked on it, but what I do know is that it has remixed music of the US soundtrack to Sonic CD as well as Sonic Spinball. And while I bring this all up because there's one specific track on there named Flight to Volcanic Fortress, which, as the name suggests, is based off the intro for Sonic Spinball. And I just gotta be honest, it's probably one of the best pieces of Sonic music that I've ever heard. And well, it's just really impressive that whoever made this song made it with such little to work with. Like seriously, I'm pretty sure that the music used in the intro is like less than 10 seconds long.